Well, Han Solo's dead.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
Still dead.
Yeah.
I'm just going to lead off with that.
I thought they were going to reveal that he didn't actually die, but they didn't.
No, but they reveal he was actually Palpatine all along.
Death doesn't really mean anything in Star Wars anymore.
No one's ever really gone.
No, that's certainly true.
All right, so we've done it. We've watched the last Star Wars movie ever because Disney said this is the last one, and I trust
this is
them.
it.
And we're going to talk about spoilers.
They said this is the last Skywalker one.
Last one ever. So
they've also just come out and said, actually, depending on how this goes, this might not be the last Skywalker one.
What a fucking surprise.
Well, it did actually leave it open, didn't it?
It certainly did.
I noticed also Kathleen Kennedy said, maybe we won't do trilogies anymore. And then Bob Iger was like, well, we might.
Yeah,
it's all right, guys. Jesus Christ.
It is funny that everything has to be a trilogy.
I agree. Like, if you didn't wrap up the story, if you didn't have enough time, just do number 10. Fuck it, who cares?
Well,
do Star Wars X.
I have quite a lot to say about that aspect of this whole thing. So we are going to talk about spoilers. So listeners, if you have not seen Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, don't listen to this episode yet. Go watch it.
I thought it was called
The Rise. Also, what are you doing?
The Rise.
Why have you not seen it yet?
Yes. The Rise of Palpatine. That's not a spoiler. It was in the trailer. Don't get upset.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, go away. Watch
they were
it.
very open with it that Palpatine was coming back.
Well, they had to be, didn't they?
Because otherwise we would have been like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, because otherwise 5 minutes in, everyone would have been like, what is going on?
I will admit, for the first 20 minutes of that movie, I was going, what the hell was going on?
It's called retconning. And we were undoing a lot of stuff from The Last Jedi.
That first 20 minutes of the movie just kept jumping around, and I did not enjoy it.
Delete.
I did enjoy it on a certain level. See, I feel like maybe there's two things that I think enhanced my enjoyment of this film. One of them is that I did read spoilers, and some of the more outlandish things I kind of already knew.
And number two, you were getting a hand job while watching it.
Yeah, from Rian Johnson. And it was not good.
Too.
Yeah, it was not very good. It really subverted my expectations of what a hand job should be.
Because it was you giving him one.
You thought you were going to come, but you didn't.
I did.
Overall, what did you think of it first?
Overall,
I'm curious.
Once I got past that initial, what is this? I actually started to enjoy it. Once I feel it slowed down and actually went, here is story
We're
again.
still talking about a hand job from Rian Johnson?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I really liked it. There's a couple of things that I thought could have been done better, and one particular thing that I didn't like at all. But overall, really enjoyed it.
Yep.
What was the part you didn't like?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
I fucking loved it. I had a smile on my face the whole time. And as I said, I think part of it was that I kind of knew some of the more zany things were going to happen.
The dopey shit. Yeah.
And in context, they were better than I was imagining. So I was still happy. And number two,
I agree.
Was that
there was one part I did go, what the fuck?
On a certain level, I did enjoy all the middle fingers to The Last Jedi, even though I was like, oh God, what are you doing? Like, you don't have to do that. But then I didn't expect it to be so explicit.
Yeah, I know.
Saying all of this, though, I'd love to know what Rian Johnson would have had planned for 3.
Well, that's my point, right?
Mate,
what could they have done?
He would have inverted your expectations again. It would have been all those characters locked up in a cabin, and they're snowed in, and they're talking about their feelings.
Because I get, like, if you liked what The Last Jedi was trying to do, that's cool. But you got to remember, that was the middle part of a supposed trilogy that was supposedly the end part of a big story. And he was like, he came in and went, nah, I do my own thing. and flip the table over.
It doesn't work that way.
Like,
I'll admit,
though, what was he going to do for episode 9? What was his idea for episode 9?
Yeah.
How was that going to get wrapped up?
There were a couple of things that JJ did in this to undo a couple of things that Rian Johnson did that I actually thought, and it made me appreciate one or two things that Rian Johnson had done that I actually think were better un-JJ-ified.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. And there were things that I thought explicitly from The Last Jedi that J.J. Abrams used in this that I liked. Stuff like the Force FaceTime stuff. I thought, that was cool. Like, we wouldn't have had that.
and it's evolved.
Otherwise.
It's evolved since then too. Like they're getting better at it. They're getting more tactile.
I do feel like it's super weird, right? That Disney was like, yeah, you guys just go at each other in the film.
Yeah.
In the film, go at it. Like, that's fine.
That's right.
Jesus. And then J.J. Abrams the other day was like, no, we're good. Rian Johnson and I, we're good. No dramas. Mate, have you not? We've seen the film. We're not idiots.
Right. Opening crawl, Star Wars. Rian Johnson can fuck off.
One of the, when Rey throws the fucking lightsaber and Luke's like,
that's the
weapon
biggest middle finger.
That was the one that I was like,
treat it with respect.
Yeah. I was
the
like,
lightsaber? No, the fucking trilogy.
Weapon of a Jedi deserves more respect.
It's not Ryan, it's Rey. Oh, sorry, Rey.
Yeah. Rey Johnson? No, Rey Palpatine. My mistake. All right, so, where do we begin?
Look, I just want to begin by saying I feel like it's almost an injustice doing a review having only watched this once because
there's a few things I really do want to see again.
Yeah, so maybe just caveat that some of the things I say I might take back after I've watched it again.
Yeah, fair enough.
And there's also stuff I may not remember correctly.
Yeah, that's right.
Were you drunk?
I was drunk. It was midnight.
Well, we have said on this podcast before that a lot of people find it difficult to discuss The Last Jedi in any detail because most people only saw it one time.
That's so true. And you know what? I want to see this movie again.
Yeah. I actually planning to go this week. I
legitimately
can see it at the movies.
Yeah, I'm trying to find people that want to watch it again.
Yeah. I didn't want to go see The Last Jedi again at the movies. I was maybe I'll watch it again one day. This one, I'm like, no, fucking let's go. Let's go now.
Yeah. My nieces and nephews, man. I'm like, who wants to see Star Wars?
Yeah.
It's taking me back to remember The Force Awakens when that came out and we saw it we saw it ourselves and then we saw it together, then we saw it another time all in the first couple of days.
It's got
but actually
something.
That brings me to my very first point of this. This felt like a Star Wars movie.
Yes.
So
yes.
Tick in that box. Last Jedi.
What is that? Like, what is the thing?
I think it's because it was an adventure.
Yeah, I suppose so. Like,
and The Last Jedi was not an adventure.
No.
Yeah, I guess I can't really put my finger on exactly why. But yeah, you're right. I mean, because as much as we pick on plot details and stuff from The Last Jedi that was silly. I mean, this had silly shit in it as well, but I didn't care.
Oh yeah, man, it fucking did.
Like really silly shit. Like the way they explain Snoke. Oh, I made him.
Oh. Yeah.
Why?
Why didn't you just turn up? Why did it have to be him?
But now I'm like, does that just get a pass because I know that he got fucking screwed on that? Or
that's the thing, but that's... Okay, so here's my problem, right? Can I just articulate this? This is my problem with anyone but George Lucas ending this trilogy. And I know that's controversial, right? But if someone's telling you a story, a true story, say, you want to hear what happens at the end. Right?
Sure.
You want to hear what actually happened. If someone's telling you a fictitious story that they made up, you want to hear what happens to the characters in the head of the person who made up the start of the story that you liked.
Sure.
If you're watching a fictitious story that somebody started and you want to know what happened and someone else comes in, it's just making shit up. And I know it's making shit up anyway, but it just doesn't feel like...
I get what you mean.
If you were to go back and watch the original Star Wars or even the prequels and go, fuck, I wonder what happens to... Okay, well, JJ's making that shit up, so come and have a look. You know what I mean? For some reason, this just doesn't feel officially real as the end of this.
They made a point of mentioning actually, there was a funny headline that said lots of big names at the premiere. Not George Lucas. He didn't show up. And they also made a point to mention that Carrie Fisher didn't show up. And I'm not sure if that was just
what the hell?
If that was poor wording or if the person didn't realize that, there's a very good reason she wasn't there.
This was a nice send-off for her, I think.
Yeah. And George Lucas turns up with a little urn of her ashes.
God.
Is it like a Prozac pill?
Yes. Oh, my God.
No, it is.
90. Is it?
Yeah,
so
her ashes are in a Prozac
She's in a
pill.
giant Prozac. Oh,
yeah.
That's very sweet. I thought 90% of Leia was handled very, very well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was one scene where it's sort of like her daughter is there, sort of talking to her, and that sort of tugged on the heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah.
That was actually Rian Johnson tugging on your dick.
Yes.
No, I agree. The only scene I didn't like and I didn't think was necessary at all was the complete CGI young Leia, which they promised us they wouldn't do.
Yeah, that was odd. And actually, for some reason, CGI Luke looked fine.
He looked great.
CGI Leia did not look fine.
No.
Maybe it was because they promised not to do her, then they went, "No, we will," and then they had to rush to get it done.
We'll make it shit then.
Yeah. I think they just took her straight out of Battlefield 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit like Uncanny Valley, that sequence.
Yeah. Well, but all the bits where they basically just rotoscoped her out of deleted scenes from The Last Jedi, I thought worked really well.
Yeah.
Because you can sort of hear those lines, you go, that was not for this movie.
Yeah, no, that's right. They had to really retcon
it. Yeah,
and you could kind of
Star Wars
tell
Mad
that
Libs.
she wasn't based in that scene originally either.
Yeah.
You know.
So one of the things that got not really retconned, but got bookshelved was Rose. And
oh man,
we
don't want you in this movie.
I look. There's been a lot of talk online about this. People are really mad about it, and I think, I didn't like the character, and I'm not, but I mean, if they had something good to do with her in this film, that might have been fine. But clearly, for whatever reason, J.J. Abrams didn't have anything to do with her in this film, so he just put her aside.
And I don't see a part for her in this film.
But I didn't feel it was really necessary. It made me laugh, but I didn't think it was really necessary for her to go, oh, nah, I got some stuff to do.
Yeah, like, give us something important to do on there, or don't mention it.
Like, literally,
but don't actually have a scene
like,
where someone goes, are you going to be part of this? And she goes, nah, for some reason I'm not going to be part of this.
That was a little unnecessary.
Yeah.
There was also one part towards the end of the film where Finn was sort of going to sacrifice himself, and she goes, okay. Like,
oh,
end of The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
She was, no, you can't do that. We all have to survive and all this. And then this one is just, oh, that sucks.
Because the other aspect of that is, and someone pointed this out, and I can't really argue that this is wrong, right? Rose is there, right? She's a character we're familiar with, but Dominic Monaghan gets more lines than she does.
That was so weird. That was
like,
they didn't even
come on,
introduce
JJ.
him like, oh, here's someone you need to pay attention to.
Like, he was doing stuff. She easily could have been doing that.
Yeah. Here's my friend from Lost.
Yes. I mean, Greg Grunberg, he was in Force Awakens.
Yeah. And he's fine. And actually, he looks exactly like all the fucking fighter pilots from the old Star Wars.
Yeah,
I wish they hadn't
got a beard.
I wish they hadn't have killed off that A-Wing pilot in The Last Jedi, because I would have liked to see her in that role.
Yeah. Oh,
there was an A-Wing pilot.
That a couple of people I wish they
a good character and fun, and then
subverted your expectations.
Yeah, there's a couple of characters I wish they hadn't killed off in The Last Jedi. We
Look,
might have had a different film.
Well, here's the thing: if they hadn't killed off Snoke, I think there would be no need for Palpatine, and Snoke just would have been the new fucking bad guy. But before we move off Rose, I also just want to say quickly, I think that Kelly Marie Tran was playing a completely different character who just coincidentally was called Rose, because that wasn't the same person.
I did also get that. I didn't really feel like it was, that happy character
seemed
we had
to
in
have
the last one.
No history with Finn. You know, it was just,
That's
did you know that there's another Resistance fighter here who's also Korean and her name is Rose?
We have to remember, the course of these 3 movies took course over, 3 days or something?
Yeah, that's right.
No, this one's 10 years later or something, I think, right? Isn't it? There's, I think some time passed before this one.
I don't know. I didn't get the impression that they had.
Okay. But yeah, you're right. I do feel like the way that they handled Rose in this was a little on the nose.
Yeah.
Because, this is even something as more of a middle finger to Rian Johnson as well. Is remember at the Last Jedi, they actually go, we call them, people will come, people will rise.
Yes.
And then in this one, they went, we called out and no one rocked up.
We need someone with the charisma of Lando before that's going to happen.
Yeah, Lando's back.
But if I was Kelly Marie Tran and I read the script, I would have gone in and been like, guys, do you even want me in this movie?
Well, if you want to
just write me out, just write me the fuck out.
I've got a lot of respect for her for doing this because,
I agree.
Yeah,
she kind of got screwed. Let's be honest. It's not her fault that her character sucked, and then to have to come back and, I mean, it's kind of embarrassing. For her,
and not only that, she was perfectly good in this movie, which leads me to believe she could have been perfectly good in the other one too if she hadn't been poorly written and poorly directed.
But then the truth of it is, if I don't think J.J. Abrams meant to be a cunt about it. I can't imagine he would have, right? So he clearly just couldn't think of anything better to do.
She is to get 4 lines and no more.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's kind of I don't know, it's just weird.
Yeah.
That was the worst kind of middle finger. The other stuff I just kind of laughed at, and the lightsaber, and then the the hold-on maneuver gets a mention. Oh, that was 1 in a million. All right, thanks. They could have just not mentioned it.
Yeah, that's right.
We know it was shit.
Yeah.
As far as a story of the world of Star Wars, we know it messes things up. You just didn't have to mention it.
Well, the other thing he had to tidy up was Hux, because he set Hux up to be the next Grand Moff Tarkin. And then Rian Johnson turned him into a fucking comic relief. So they had to be where do we go from here? Are we still a buffoon? By the way, he's dead.
Yeah, and here's another guy filling the role that he would have filled if you hadn't made him into an idiot.
Yeah, that's right. We had to bring in all these new characters because you ruined the characters I set up carefully.
It's so weird.
But I did like how they did that, how they sort of turned out Hux to be because where he had to move on to from The Last Jedi. So it turned into... I see where this is going. I'm not a fan of this. I'm going to start slipping information to the Resistance. I can actually see that progression from where they had to go from.
Yeah, and it might have been nice to see that play out. But
I don't care if you win, but Kylo Ren has to lose.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was a bit sort of sad when he just got shot.
Can we talk about Kylo Ren for just a sec?
Sure.
I know it's jumping around, but we established, and once again, spoilers are coming.
I don't think we need to mention that again. People have already turned off and discussed if they weren't sure.
But I'm jumping to the end of the film now. That's why I just want to really reinforce. Rey can force heal, right?
Yes.
Rey can force heal.
Like the child.
Yes. Baby Yoda can also force heal. So, and they fast-tracked that to earlier in the day. So that wouldn't come as a shock to anyone. Yeah. My favorite part of this movie was when she died. So Kylo Ren brought her back to life.
Yep.
And then he died, and she was like, I might end this here.
Yeah, that worked out.
For me.
Yeah.
I did like how it did explain their Force connection, though.
Yes. Force dyad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Force
saying, this is something we haven't seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
And that there are, even in old Star Wars canon, in Legends, there were Force users, there were people who would have a specialty that would just be sort of a gift that they got.
Yeah.
That they just had.
Yes.
So it is not something they've just created for this.
No, it's, usually, even in the role-playing games, you have a thing, the Jedi thing. Yeah.
Mind you, usually Jedi have to... But they have to learn how to use it. That's the other thing. Rey has never been taught how to use any of these things.
Well, that's because she's a Palpatine, Dan. It actually... Okay.
It's an unknown known. She doesn't know she can do things. She's got the power to do everything, but how does she know that she can do it and how to do it?
what did you think about her background? Because I kind of feel like it couldn't have been anything else, honestly. Like, what the fuck else could it have been? It's he had to explain, like, why is she so powerful? Like, why does everyone in The Force Awakens think they know who she is? Why is she special? Like, and then Rian Johnson was like, she's not special. Well, she fucking is. Like, you can't just ignore the movie that came before your movie. Like,
well, here's the thing.
But then also, if Kylo Ren took out from her mind, and then basically as a child, all she didn't know parents were Force sensitive or anything like this. She just knew her parents, and then they sold her off, which they did just to save her. Then what he takes from her mind is they were nothing.
Yes. No, I think all that works. I'm like, you think, like her being a Palpatine, what do you think about that?
That's the one thing I don't like. I legitimately don't like that. And here's why. Number one, I mean, I've been very vocal about not liking that everyone's a fucking cousin of someone. And that scene where he was like, I'm the grandson of Luke Skywalker, you're the granddaughter of... that was just so fucking on the nose. Like,
sure.
It was just... I didn't like that. I could have done without that. But I actually think Rian Johnson had retconned something himself that I think was better the original way it was done, which was that you don't have to be Force sensitive, and I'm doing air quotes here, because there's no such thing as that in the original Star Wars. Anyone can learn to use the Force. It's always around all of us. Not everyone believes in it, and you can be taught to use it. And in The Last Jedi, the thing that I do like is that Rey was nobody. She didn't have parents. She wasn't related to Skywalker or to anyone, but she could learn how to use it. And they doubled down on that at the end of the film when they showed just this poor boy in a stable learning to use the Force as well. And that's what I really liked about it. It had gone back.
That's how it always was. So I get what you're
anymore.
saying.
She's
no, I get what you're saying.
She's Palpatine's granddaughter.
Because I've seen a lot of people said, like Rian Johnson, democratized the Force and all that kind of stuff, so anyone could be a Jedi. That's how it always was. It was only no,
because
people just invented
in the Phantom Menace when they started saying, "No, you got to have the midi-chlorian count. The higher the count, the better at the Force you are."
Oh, sure. Yeah. But that doesn't mean like it doesn't mean it. Well, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what they were implying.
Yeah,
now
okay.
You have all these fans going, "No, only a Jedi can turn on a lightsaber. You got to be Force sensitive to turn on a lightsaber."
They had like a whole Jedi council, like Mace. Who were Mace Windu's parents? Who were Obi-Wan's parents? Who were Yoda's parents?
Well, yeah, it wasn't just because it wasn't a direct connection.
Palpatine parents was the grandfather of everybody.
Well, actually, remember
that's what I want to know.
Yeah. We have to remember. Isn't it Palpatine's also technically Anakin's father?
No, I don't believe that.
No.
There was a thing, and
there was a comic strip.
Deleted scene.
No, there was a comic strip recently that showed imagery that heavily implied that. It's got Palpatine menacingly hovering as a ghost around pregnant Shmi, and then even someone from Lucasfilm
fucking
came out, her. Someone at Lucasfilm. Or Disney now, I guess, said no. That's just a dream sequence. Like
that was something that's not a recent thing. That's something that was discussed about for episode 1.
Yeah,
where,
he put midi-chlorians into her.
No, I get you, but it's not
wink, wink.
It's never like explicitly said. Because Palpatine says to Anakin in episode 3, like he can create life, and then he looks at him, gives him a little wink. And then he whispers,
"Yep." Yeah, but we've seen how he creates life. He made Snoke in a big tube.
Yeah, that's right. 2 Snokes that I saw.
Yeah, at least. But what I find funny is that when you look at Snoke, you're like, fuck, he's all like battle scarred and stuff. Like, who is this guy? What's his history? No. It's just because Palpatine's not very good at making people. And he'd made several that was so shit that when he'd made that ugly thing, he was like, that'll do. Go on.
It just makes... The other thing that makes me laugh is that there's whole fucking comic... There's comic books and all this stuff that explains like how Snoke met Kylo Ren and like... It's all just horse shit. Like Disney, we got to wipe out the expanded universe so we can keep canon and everything's going to be controlled and there's the story group and all that kind of stuff. Fuck off. Like,
yeah.
No one's keeping track of anything with any success.
They used to.
Yeah.
Well, they really used to keep track.
That's the thing, because I think with George Lucas, and I can't believe we're going back to defend George Lucas now, but with George Lucas, there were rules.
George.
Right? There were rules.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
The attitude of Lucasfilm, Disney now, seems to be they're Jedis, they can do anything. Whereas Lucas was always like, well, sure, they're Jedis, but they can't just do anything.
But George was kind of like...
the extended universe, George was very involved with that. There was one series of books where they had one Han and Leia's children, Anakin, was going to become evil, and George has come in and gone, "No, I don't want that. Can you actually change it to Jason?"
Yeah,
and then
it's just arbitrary. Like, George never had a fucking plan. It's just whatever he felt like. Like,
also true.
Like,
well, he had,
look, Palpatine came back and like when he made Star Wars, right? Anakin and Darth Vader were two separate fucking people. It wasn't until Empire Strikes Back that he was like, "Oh, I know, I'll make Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker the same person."
That's true and untrue, because before that, in the earlier draft, it was one person, and he'd split it out, and then he went back to it. Because that might be true. Some of these things are because before he got to where he got.
I know, he had like 500 fucking pieces of paper with shit written on.
Well, remember, it was originally going to be all droids and no humans at all. And
yeah. So, well, all I'm saying is, and Luke and Leia being brother and sister, obviously that was not always supposed to be the case.
No, except that in the earlier drafts, they were twins all along.
Well,
they were the Starkiller twins.
Except he had him kiss in Empire. Except he didn't, I guess. Fucking Kazdan did.
But I mean, if I came on set and I saw,
Kazdan,
like a brother
Kazdan
and sister kissing,
what's his name?
And
what can't I think of Kirshner's name?
Yeah.
Irvin Kershner.
Irvin Kershner.
Yeah.
But I actually even remember like a making of the Return of Jedi, this VHS tape I had where they talk about how they were making it, and then it's like, how do we get him to sort of turn and attack? And they're gone, that's right, we'll make them related. It was sort of like they'll make it up really as they were filming as well.
Well, my dad brought up a really good point when we first watched The Empire Strikes Back for the very first time when I was like 5 years old. And as soon as they stopped the love story between Han and Leia and switched over to her being with Han, I was like, oh, wow, like, imagine that. And, like, why is that? And my dad just turned to me and goes, because Harrison Ford has become a bigger star than Mark Hamill did. Yeah. And I mean, that's got to be true, right? I mean, if Mark Hamill had continued being the heartthrob, he would have still been with the princess.
You know why Han Solo is in fucking carbonite at the end of Empire Strikes Back? Because Harrison Ford didn't want to come back.
Picture deal.
He was like, fuck yeah. I might not.
I have an idea why Mark Hamill's career didn't progress the same way that Harrison's did.
Go on.
When he was at the height of his career, like just come off Star Wars and everything, he then had that car crash.
Yeah.
It took him out of commission for quite some time. So all these times where he could have been banking some quite high-profile roles, he was sort of there, and I think that maybe sort of hindered his career a little bit.
Well, he went off
also because
he didn't get the cash in at the time.
He didn't get a Indiana Jones movie in between as well.
Yeah.
They just rocket him to stardom.
He just did Time Cop or whatever that movie is.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, he sort of missed out on cashing in.
Yeah.
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 Mind you, what he did cash in on is all the Star Wars peripheral stuff. Like, he was on the Muppets as Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
You know?
Well, he got his redemption moment.
I have a feeling he turned up at malls. You know what I mean?
He got his redemption moment in Rise of Skywalker. He got to be the Luke Skywalker that we all remember again.
Yeah.
Suddenly and mysteriously,
that's
just
why I
a
keep
completely different character.
The Last Jedi.
Look, hold on. That's not a retcon. That's called a character arc. He learned from his mistakes.
Sure. That's fine.
Yeah.
Bullshit mistake.
So, jumping to the very, very end of the movie,
sure.
Rey has spent her whole life wanting to know who she is, who her parents were, what her last name is.
Yeah.
She finally finds out and decides, I'll get a new one. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, whose does she take? Let's see. I'll take the name of the guy who I never met and then went to an island to find, and he didn't really like me and taught me nothing. I'll take his last name. That just felt a little... I mean, they showed Leia there, but she'd never used the name Skywalker.
Yeah, but if I was like, I wouldn't mind a little bit of celebrity. I'll pick a famous one. Like if I moved to another country and no one knew who I was and I was all by myself and someone came up and was like, "What's your name?" and I was like, "Matt," and they're like, "Matt who?" Because that's what people do.
That's people always ask. Yeah,
I'd probably go, "Matt the Rock Johnson." Because why not?
Touché. Matt, can you hold me in your arms?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. It's like Marty McFly telling everyone he's Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, who the fuck presses you on your surname like that? I get
plot
why.
Devices, Matt.
Yeah, I know, but like I was like, come on, twice in the same movie.
So I have to question, like, at the end, she goes to, like, Tatooine, to Luke's the old Lars homestead.
Yeah.
It's still there and no one's moved in or ransacked the place.
There is an old woman wandering by the middle of the fucking desert.
Yeah, it's just like, I've been squatting here. What do you
What's your surname? What's your surname? I'm asking everybody.
Please don't tell me it's Lars, because I've got squatters' rights.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Or Skywalker, because for some reason the Lars kid called himself the name of the fucking big general guy that was looking for him.
I really wish she had gone, like they had that whole big moment where she's like, "What's your surname? What's Ray who?" And she looks over and she sees Luke and Leia, and it's like the music swells, and she turns back and she goes, "Ray Palpatine."
Yeah.
Fuck off. And then like electrocutes her.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? If you were that old woman and you came across like, you know, what you knew was an abandoned place and you saw some young girl scavenging about and you were like, "Hey, what's your name? I just want to make sure you're meant to be here." And she goes, "Ray." And you're like, "Fucking Ray who? You smart ass. Tell me your full fucking name." And then
show me Shabbat.
And then for no reason, she just turns off and stares into the desert for like a good 30 seconds and then turns back and says, "Skywalker." You'd be like, "Don't bullshit me. What's your fucking name?"
Fuck off, bitch.
Palpatine.
Ray Palpatine. Yeah, that Palpatine. We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Granddad. But I honestly, I was thinking about it afterwards. This whole thing is supposed to be like, you've got 3 trilogies now, a trilogy of trilogies.
Yeah.
If the final one didn't involve, like, I know what Rian Johnson was trying to do.
Bits from the start.
But if it was like, oh, we're going in a whole different direction, like,
then why do it?
Now is not the time to do that. Like, you had to wrap up.
That's why
it was such a weird thing to let him do.
Always confused me how they didn't have this all planned and mapped out from the second they went
exactly. And I can see why. Okay, we've got to bring back Palpatine. Why? Because somehow this has to fucking bookend all of this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Although you're right. Because let's be honest. If we're taking George Lucas's fucking retcon plan, his own one for the prequels,
which one?
That Star Wars is the story of Anakin Skywalker, his rise, fall, and then redemption. Mm-hmm. Then we don't need the third trilogy because the fact that he was a good boy, he went bad, and then in the end he redeemed himself. That's the end. Okay, nothing.
If they were really going to tie this all off and just end it, Rey should have died as well.
Mate, she did die, but no one's death was actually earned or stuck with in this.
Even C-3PO's.
That was a cop-out. That was an absolute cop-out.
I have a new character who's... Well, I got 2 new characters that I love, right? Babu Frick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Babu Frick is my new favorite, man. Fucking Baby Yoda be damned.
Also, I love Dio because he basically is my dog.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Someone goes to touch him and he's like, "No, thank you."
Yeah, that was great.
So, yes, what was my point? I can't remember what my point was now. I'm distracted thinking about Babu Frick. Hey!
That was the one scene that I went, "What the fuck?" when he rocked up in that ship. I was just no.
Oh, but 3PO was one of the best characters in this. He had some of the best lines. Like some of
this was 3PO's best movie.
And I actually think I would have been stronger if it had have been like memory wipe. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. Because actually, no memory 3PO was fucking great.
Yeah. Babu Frick, my oldest friend. But also, there's that fucking scene.
That was my first laser battle.
You didn't say my name, sir, but I'm fine. That was good too. But then my favorite bit was where they're all standing around and like fucking the ship blows up and all that kind of stuff. And then they're all they're like, oh, what do we do now? And 3PO's just staring off into the distance. Yeah. Well, I guess the location of Emperor Palpatine lives on only in my mind now. And they're like, wait, what?
That's right.
So good.
Yeah, he was great. He was really, really good. But I think you're right, Luke. I think that would have been a much more powerful sacrifice for him to make if there hadn't been a backup.
Yes.
Or had
a couple of days.
Especially because
had it been that they didn't announce it that the R2's got it. If that had become something that became apparent later.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it was kind of like, oh no, R2's backups are no good. No, they are good. It's fine.
No, they're fine. They're fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because how many fake outs were there? The first one was Chewie.
Yes. Well, see, the Chewie one I forgive because I actually really liked that scene with Kylo Ren and Rey where she loses her shit and zaps the ship. That was fucking sick.
I agree, but they should have stuck with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if you got fucking have some balls, you cowards, just fucking
kill Chewie.
You didn't realize you were that fucking powerful and fucking Chewie's dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Learn a lesson from it and move on.
Yeah.
But because I loved that scene, and then I was
consequences.
Like, yes, yeah, there weren't a whole lot of them.
Why that was a nice
Kylo
moment
Ren.
too. Fucking Chewie gets a middle finger to George Lucas all those years ago.
Which that's all that was.
Yeah, that's funny.
There was no need for that at all. Actually, no. That was him
that
handing him Han's medal.
Is that what it was?
I'm thinking now.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because she
that
wouldn't
would
actually
be
Either
sort
way,
of
it's
even-
a nice moment.
unless she just.
But it would have been
Yeah.
nicer if they'd laid it on his fucking grave.
Sorry, I just got goosebumps. That he just got Han's medal, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
Aww.
Also, Han's back.
Yes.
Yeah, that
I
was
liked
a
that
genuine
scene.
surprise. Yeah.
I like that scene.
And that was
But
with
I didn't know that
Randall.
was going to happen. Yeah, the redo of the conversation from Force Awakens. There was some good callbacks to Force Awakens. Actually, I got to say a couple of things that they called back to. There was Rey getting to wear an X-wing pilot's helmet actually for real this time instead of just how she used to play on
Pop it on.
Jakku.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep. I liked that. Some good stuff like that.
But yeah, no.
Yeah,
when
and
Han came back to have that conversation, I actually really liked that. Because remember, there was no way that Kylo could really come back. He killed his father. And so I was trying to work out how they were going to make it that he sort of redeemed himself.
Yeah.
And having that internal conversation with his father, I think, was a nice way to do it.
Well, I think from an audience's point of view is the only way the audience would have accepted his transition, because if that didn't happen, he was just like, I'm good now. We would have been like, you killed Han Solo, fuck you. Whereas you have to have Han Solo coming up and going, I forgive him, you should too.
Yep.
I wondered if they were maybe they wanted him to have a conversation with Leia, but they were like, well, can't have that now. So,
but they did have that nice moment where she distracted him.
Yes, that's what I mean. It all kind of fit together quite well. I honestly, with what he had to work with, I feel like he did a fucking amazing job. I understand people are mad about it, but like, fuck, man.
Look, here's the thing.
To
Don't
tidy
be mad
up
about
that
it.
mess, Jesus.
Have you seen critics are crucifying this movie?
I don't get it, to be honest. I don't know.
To be honest, I've not been paying attention to any of the.
I don't understand the scores they gave Last Jedi though. So, I mean,
here's one.
I'm not saying they're wrong. But
There's a Jake Kavanaugh who was in Mandalorian. He's not going to be working for Disney ever again. He came out after seeing it, and what was it? I'm in the Star Wars universe now, so surely I can't speak ill of Episode 9, right? Wrong. Rise of Skywalker was hands down the worst Star Wars movie and absolute fucking failure.
Jesus.
It's just like
who does he play in?
He was the bounty hunter that he sort of teams up with, I think.
Wait, the kid?
In Episode 4? Yeah, the kid.
Oh, he was terrible. Who cares?
He was terrible. And he's come out and just laid this on. I'm sort of like, dude, you're not getting hired ever again.
Yeah, if you were ever hoping your character would come back, no more.
Because you can be critical, yes, but not an absolute fucking failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mandalorian Episode 7, you guys thumbs up for that one?
Yeah. I like that one.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I liked it too, yeah. It was great.
I'm upset there's only one more episode.
I know. But all of the stuff that we were like, oh, this plot point just ended, this just ended, this
yes!
no, it's all back.
Yeah, I was pleased about that. Pleased to see Werner again.
Same. Hey,
Can I offer you a libation?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's and then when he was like, open it up, and they're like, he's sleeping, but then he gets the call from the fucking mop, and he goes over and he's like, yeah, he's sleeping right now.
Yeah, he's sleeping. He's a baby.
Yeah.
You'll weep.
I also didn't know that guy was an Ugnaught.
Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did they say it in episode 1 and I missed it?
He looks like one. They might have.
Well, he actually calls him an Ugnaught in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, he does too. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I remember. Because he worked for the Empire.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his... Yeah, that's right.
Against his will.
I've got a controversial point of view.
Go on.
I hope Baby Yoda's not in the second season.
Huh.
Because the child is the MacGuffin of this season.
Yeah.
And he's so popular that I just know they're going to put him in the gang.
Yeah.
But that's not what he's there for, and I guarantee that's not what they were originally intending.
I would be surprised if they didn't actually plan to kill him.
Yeah.
They're not going to kill the fucking baby.
Oh, they're not going to kill him now.
Yeah.
I wish he had shown up in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Literally,
Can I
as
just
a
say
baby.
my favorite part? My favorite part of episode 7 was fucking Carl Weathers going, "He's trying to eat me."
Yeah, that's right. Oh, but also they addressed one of the things people have been talking about is, I mean, this is spoilers, everybody. This is a minor detail. Because people have been saying, hang on a minute, Yoda was 900, Baby Yoda's 50. Like, that doesn't work out. He shouldn't be such a fucking baby. But then they mention in this that he's, like, mutated or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Interesting. Yeah, they do.
I think I read somewhere that basically, like, they're an infinite like this until they're sort of 100.
You read somewhere in an encyclopedia.
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Or I dreamt it.
No, I think in this one they mentioned that he's an anomaly or something, or there's something wrong. I can't remember the specifics of what they said, but there was a thing that addressed the fact that his age is funny.
Oh, what about? We're doing spoilers, aren't we?
Yes, aren't we? Oh, fine. Mandalorian episode 7 spoilers.
Okay, when he did the force choke.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome because that's sort of showing that he's not just good. He's still trying to protect.
He's protecting Mando.
His dad?
Yeah.
Mando. But yet actually just goes straight to what is normally been deemed dark side power.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, can I ask a question? Something occurred to me during Rise of Skywalker, right? Okay. The baddies, they call their part of the Force the dark side, right?
Yes.
Yep.
What's the other part called?
The light.
No one's ever said that.
I think.
Hold on.
I think Kylo Ren has said.
What's the opposite
he feels the pull
of the dark side?
The light side.
Who said that?
I think
that
in the movies. You mean?
There's
think Kylo Ren refers
There's
to.
There's only the movies.
I think Kylo Ren says he feels the pull of the light.
Okay.
I even think in Return of the Jedi it's mentioned.
Is it?
I think it is.
I mean, it makes sense that you would call it the light side, but
is the dark easier than the light? Does
he say
the light, or does he just say is it easier?
That's the thing. I think they only mentioned the dark side, and then they just call the other bit the Force.
Interesting.
No, I think he just.
What does he say?
I honestly think he also says it when he's trying to bring Vader back. Like, I felt
the good in you.
Yeah, the good in you. I will research this, and we will come back next week.
Follow up. Can we talk about the lightsaber fights
Luke does a thing.
in this for a bit? Because I thought they were fucking great.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again. I tuned out trying to Wikipedia.
The lightsaber fights in Rise of Skywalker, I thought they were fucking great. I thought that fight with Rey and Kylo Ren at the old Death Star was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
the way they were,
that was great. Yeah, that was great.
Force pushing the lightsabers away, and there was that like weird like force. I guess it was force push, so that the blade kind of was like bending a little bit. That was cool, man. It was a cool fight.
Yeah,
I like that there weren't a lot of them,
and they weren't like doing backflips and fucking
no
shit. It was very like
that was finally
aggressive.
being used. It was progressing story at the same time as the fight was happening.
Yes.
Which was always kind of what happened in the original trilogy.
Yeah, well, that was the problem with episode 3 was we didn't need all that shit. We just needed them having a sword fight on a hill surrounded by lava or something. We didn't need all that extra shit.
Ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
Because you actually look at, while a lot of that's happening, it's just stretching out the movie for no reason.
So I've got a plan, right? I always, I've always said, fucking leave Star Wars alone. Don't go back and fix things, and no more special editions.
Yeah.
But I think they should do one more pass, right? At the entire
Luke's
saga,
version.
right?
Yeah.
You delete Phantom Menace, just delete. No need for it. No need to see Darth Vader as a kid. Delete.
True. Yep. Don't need it. Yeah, actually don't need it. Yeah.
Don't need it at all.
No.
You combine episodes 2 and 3 into one film.
Take the good parts.
Yeah, just the good parts of both of them, because there are good parts of both of them.
Yeah, totally.
And
agreed.
You cut all the bits where he's a brat, and you just have it that they are good friends and they were fighting side by side. And eventually he turned, and you have it because he was fearful of, the death of his wife and all of that stuff like that. That's all good stuff. That's all good story stuff. So that becomes episode 1. So then Star Wars, A New Hope becomes episode 2. And Empire Strikes Back becomes episode 3. Return of the Jedi, fine, we'll leave it in as intact, is episode 4.
Yep.
Then you have The Force Awakens. No,
Force Awakens, I think you can get away with.
Sorry, I missed one. You include Rogue One. Rogue One.
I watched that the other day.
Rogue One becomes episode.
God, it's a great movie.
Yeah. So it goes in there as an official Star Wars trilogy film, followed by A New Hope. Right. So Rogue One Rogue One is episode 2. Right. Episode 2. Rogue One.
Yep.
Then you have The Force Awakens. Right.
Yep.
Then you split The Last Jedi into 2 films. And you put all of the good stuff from the split the Rise of Skywalker into 2 films.
Oh,
you put the good stuff from the first half of the Rise of Skywalker, and then you have the second movie, the final movie, just as the second half of that, adding all of that stuff up, and I reckon you've got a pretty decent 6 films or whatever we're up to.
There is one thing I still don't like from the new trilogy, and including this one, is how hyperspace works. I wish they could fix that because
hyperspace skipping thing that didn't go anywhere, and I was like, this is kind of weird. Like,
is hyperspace skipping just randomly turning your light speed on and off, and
that's why
it does seem that
was odd.
Without plotting a course first.
Yeah, but they were appearing in the atmosphere of various scenic locations, and I was like, what the fuck?
And that's why that
was weird.
Ever since The Force Awakens, the way hyperspace works, where it's basically, all right, we're going and we're here.
It was it's like being on the Star Tours ride.
Yes.
Every other movie, it's been sort of, all right, we're traveling here, we'll be there in a few days type of thing.
To
show distance, but now it's just, and we're here.
But also that whole sequence
they made it to the outer rim in this secret space.
Maybe it's a folding of time space rather than.
But the whole thing was kind of unnecessary. I thought, this must come up later because this is such a this is new. This whole thing, that the fact that Poe can do this, can just be like fucking bam, 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 jumping between planets. They're going to have to do this later, I guess.
Yeah, and that part comes back to the part of the movie I didn't like, that initial opening part where it is jumping around everywhere. And because all that whole hyperspace skipping thing was to one sort of joke where he goes, I did hyperspace skipping, where he goes, well, you're not meant to do that type of thing.
Yeah.
That's all that led up to.
It was really unnecessary. Yeah, I agree with that.
Maybe it was something that was initially meant to be something when they were hyperspace skipping to get to.
That's a good point.
The Sith planet.
That's a good point, because the other thing you have to bear in mind with this film is that they had fuck all time to make it. With a ton of pressure, and they did a bunch of reshoots before, months before release, because there was stuff in those spoilers that was different. I swear, because I know we mentioned on the show before that I looked at a bunch of spoilers, and then Dan, you were like, hit me with them. And some of the stuff I told you was wrong, I think. And I didn't even tell you all of it. And there were things I didn't know. I did not know that Han was going to be in it. So
I think they did a great job of keeping that secret.
Yeah.
Quiet. That's...
Speaking of secrets, why the fuck does Maz Kanata have Luke Skywalker's lightsaber.
That was I imagine if JJ had done all three, that might have come up again, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And it was one of the I'm sure that he had a list of things, and he was like, I got to let some of these go because this movie is fucking packed with his attempts to salvage his threads.
They shot themselves into their foot by having to have this as a trilogy because Star Wars is always a trilogy.
Yes.
There were 2 movies here, and they could have slowed down. Luke, you would have gotten your, not so jumpy first act.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they could have explored a few more of those things. They could have explored Hux as a spy. They could have explored, Rey realizes she can control life and death. They could have held off on the reveal of the Emperor a little more, and they could have had it that instead of just him basically group texting everyone, reply all, I'm back. It could have been right.
I'm coming to get you.
That he was back. Some people believed it. Some people didn't believe it. And
it's funny, with all of this is the first time I've seen a movie in a long time where I actually want to go start reading some of the material around it to actually get a better understanding.
Oh, there'll definitely be a book.
Don't bother. I'm sure it's a mess. I think, honestly, I feel like the best thing you can do is just accept it and try not to worry about it. Yeah.
Why? I wish they had have just worked out the story to begin with, had one person running with it.
And don't make it... Yeah. I understand why they did it the way they did because, to build up hype and all that kind of stuff, but this should not have been 7, 8, and 9. This should have just been new shit. And can we all agree, please, I assume you guys agree with me, that now, if Disney wants to make more Star Wars movies, good, please. I enjoy them.
Yep.
I would like to see more of them. Fucking nothing to do with this stuff, right?
Yeah, nothing to do with it.
You don't need to tie it in with anything. It's just in the universe.
Not even nothing to do with it. Like, this stuff can have happened, but not these main characters. I don't want to see... I don't want to...
That's what I mean.
I don't want to see a Skywalker. I don't want to see a Palpatine. I don't want to see...
No, because let's be honest, other than Rey, the rest of the kind of main Scooby gang in this were just incidental.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been any pilot other than Poe. It could have been any fucking ground.
Actually, I do like Poe, though.
No, I like him too. But
I'd watch a television show with him.
I love the fact that they basically all but said that Poe
it's quite specific.
and Finn
Thanks,
are
Luke.
together now in a gay relationship because they fucking cuddle next to each other when they're playing chess, which is just adorable.
Well, did you see Oscar Isaac came out and said he would have liked that to have been the case?
I just assumed it was the case.
Did you see?
And that's what sort of Finn was trying to tell Rey. Hey,
by the way,
I'm with this guy now.
Oh yeah, do we want to talk about the fucking secret that never gets shared?
The what?
But Finn was going to tell Rey something just before.
And then nothing.
No, but you know what? They've come out and said, and both J.J. Abrams and John Boyega have come out and said that he was going to tell her that he was force sensitive. And,
which is dumb.
Well, it's not dumb, except, I mean, if it had actually been in the film, that could have been quite good because it was a good fake out for like a romance thing, except it wasn't in the film, so it does just look like he wants to tell her he's in love with her.
Yeah, except I didn't read into that. I was like, what the fuck? And Chloe's like, he's going to tell her he loves her. I'm like, what?
No, because that bit where they're in the cave and then Poe's like, what? Something you'll tell her when Poe's not around.
No, but I thought that whole thing was hilarious, but I never assumed it was going to be fucking that he fucking had feelings for her.
Well, that's what everybody seemed to think that.
Yeah, that's certainly what I thought, but it
Fair
never
enough.
entered my head.
But I feel like it could have been, if he was going to tell her that I can feel the force, well, have a bit where he tells her at the end, and then it's kind of like, we all thought he was going to tell her he loved her, and then he didn't, but they just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird to have that in there if you're not going to have the conclusion to that.
Yeah. Other than the bits were funny with, that gag with Poe was good and all that kind of stuff, and then maybe the payoff ended up not being that good, and so they took it out. I don't know. Maybe there'll be a deleted scene.
Yeah.
Although
I'm happy they didn't.
You know what they should do now? I would love for them to just be like, fuck it, Rian Johnson, episode 10. And he just fucking retcons everything. So you have Poe finally go up to Rey and go, I'm force sensitive, and then you have that little fucking stable boy from the end of The Last Jedi going, dude, anyone can use the force. You're not special.
Check this out. And then he beats him to death with a broom.
And they ride off on a horse.
Can we talk about the lesbian kiss that was like fucking 2 seconds long?
Did I fucking blink? Did I blink and miss a lesbian kiss?
Maybe was at the end. Wait a minute. Because I have a theory. Where did you see this film? What country?
What? Oh, in Singapore.
So
maybe it was Carl.
Yeah. So there is okay, so this has been a thing on Twitter as well. There is for what, like, Luke, half a second?
It's a nothing thing.
It is and it isn't, because I was like, what the fuck? That was so random. There is literally a shot that cuts to it's a character that you would recognize. She's like been around in the movies. It's one of the female crew who's been around. She's in the Resistance. I don't know who she is.
Woman?
What? She's like a blonde, curly-haired woman. Anyway,
okay,
you'd recognize her if you saw her. She starts kissing another woman, and then it just cuts away. Right. And then I was
while everyone's celebrating and hugging and kissing and stuff.
Yes, but it was but then there's like shots of like all the important people, and it's just this one shot of just them with nobody important, so that it was almost like cut here, pull them together, and distribute in China.
Yeah.
And so people are like, what the fuck was that scene? That little shot. It was just super unnecessary.
To me, it's one of those things, because people are still talking about it, that's why it needs to happen.
Chicks making out in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, like, if it had just been a guy and a girl kiss, we probably wouldn't be talking about it.
Well, actually, I disagree, and here's my proof. I didn't think in any of the films leading up to this that there was any indication that Kylo and Rey were romantically involved. I thought they were more like a brother and sister, or like joined by the Force. When they kissed, I was like, oh.
I didn't think they needed to kiss, but there was something going on.
I actually thought, because there was such a long pause before they actually kissed, that I was like, good. They're not going to. They're just having a moment, and then God, they did. What?
Because if you look at the end of like Rogue One, they didn't make them kiss or anything. That was just
they didn't make
we're gonna die.
Gareth Edwards was like, all right,
exactly. Fucking, you can have two fucking characters, male and female, who go on adventures together and don't fall in love. That can really happen.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I don't know.
That wasn't earned.
Jenna said that her and Jordan were both talking afterwards about how during the lightsaber fight that there was a lot of sexual tension between them, and I was like, really? I guess we're just too fucking
I was oblivious.
We're too fucking nerdy to notice, I guess, because apparently they were both like, oh, get a room, like during that lightsaber fight. And
I think that and the kiss is just people wanting to see.
Maybe
it's just no way. Yeah, no. They weren't. Oh my God! For starters, she kissed him and then just watched him die, knowing she could revive him.
Yeah, that's right. See you later. Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
but maybe that's what it was. She was like, "Why isn't he just dying? Oh, he wants me to kiss him. Well, no one's going to know. Why not? I'll just do it. Good. He's gone now. Literally disappeared.
Matt? If you and I were alone and I was dying, would you just be like, fuck it, no one's going to know?
What's Dan looking at me
like he's going to tell anyone?
Why is Dan looking at me like that? Does he want me to? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter what he wants at this point. It's not like he can stop me.
And I'm like, the fuck is he kissing me? I'm like, oh, thank God. He's going to give me mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
God, I might die of embarrassment. Oh, I have. Great movie.
Yeah, pretty good movie.
I liked all the...
Because here's the thing. Even with the things that I don't like, and there are a couple, I still liked it. I still really enjoyed it, and I still really want to see it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Phasma turned out to be a big old bag of nothing.
I think Jumanji comes out Boxing Day, so I'll go see Star Wars.
Yeah.
So you'll be the only one in the cinema.
Well, I don't like going to the movies and sitting with people.
Yeah.
Fair.
Turn your phones off, people. It's because of Rian Johnson and what he did. Stop sitting next to me.
Yeah, you're like finding a seat. You're like, there's nowhere to sit. You look up and there's one seat right in the middle, and then you look up and Rian Johnson's like patting the seat, like, come over here. And you're like, oh, for Christ's sake.
You thought there were no seats, but I subverted that too.
Yeah. Yes. Popcorn on his lap.
Oh,
Yep.
You thought my dick was going to be in there. It's not. It's inside you.
Yeah, it's already in your bum.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.